When we speak of virtue, of goodness, of light, it's easy to forget that that same light casts a shadow. Now, in a religious context, light is truth, salvation, moral certainty. But what lies in that darkness that is left unexamined? What do our good intentions blind us from seeing in the root causes of sufferings and evils? Now, this topic came up when I was watching an interview with Christians discussing Satanism. And what I noticed is that the conversation usually ends as soon as they can, or as soon as anyone can label something as evil, or the devil, or Satan. That's as far as that inquiry goes. And I understand the philosophy of what you see in the world you create, right? And so if you see and look for virtue in the world, you will find it and create it. And I think that that's a great philosophy for each individual to have. But I think on a broader scale, in terms of a whole religion, it does a lot of damage and it hides a lot of the true workings of things. For example, a lot of people turn to Satanism not out of a love of destruction and hate, but rather because they may have been victims of abuse by that same church institution. And so that same site that was supposed to be a place of light, of faith, of virtue and trust, became the source of a trauma, a deep trauma that completely inhibits their possibility of a relationship with God or religion. And so is that not the true atrocity underneath this? You know, on surface they're Satanists, so they're evil. But underneath, okay, maybe there was a priest who was sexually abusing children within the church. Okay, that's the true evil. But deeper still than that, what was the institution and the circumstances surrounding that priest that caused him to act in such a way? You know, what was the level of perfection that he was held to? What was the institution and circumstances? And so you could go deeper and deeper and find the root causes of these sufferings and evils. And it's just a naivety to look at the surface level and call things as they are. And I wonder if the word innocence has anything to do with Pope Innocent III. He was the one who launched the Crusades against the Cathars and just outright murdered and slaughtered thousands of people because they disagreed and criticized the Roman Church. Almost every act of suffering in this world can be at root linked to someone's pursuit of their perceived virtue. And so I just hope that we can not use virtue to cover up complexity, to silence those conversations and those dialogues, and hopefully see that in any conversation we are not divided into the righteous and the forsaken, but we are actually united in that conversation by a mutual seeking of healing.